So today is a bit of a different one. So I'm heading over to Malcolm Kingswell's plot. It's about a 40-minute drive, but before I do that I need to head over the plot, because obviously if you've been watching his recent episodes, he's now digging up some of his paths and he's putting all bark down. So what better idea than me to go over now, lug some into the car, take it over so at least he can do one or two of the paths. Right, let's go for the plot. And also I got some bits and bobs as well over here that I want to take over as well. So right, let's get that done. So I've just popped over. I'm going to get a few things for Malcolm Kingswell, go and grab the bark now from up the top and head over. But one thing that I do want to try and sway him back to trying is the Brad's Atomics. He said he grew them once and they were tiny. I'm hoping that he can enjoy these tomatoes and hopefully keep the seeds, and maybe he'll be swayed next year to try a few plants, who knows. Right, let's go get the bark and head over to Malcolm's. It's weird that I'm back here though, isn't it? And then I remember like a year ago I sat there, and then, well, just over there somewhere, and then now it's literally, I think it's a year and 2 weeks since I came here. Yeah. So I've come over to Malcolm's plot, as you know, and brought the bark over, so hopefully that will help Malcolm to finish off another part of his path. And yeah, so I brought him some goodies over. Some of the honey off Mark's plot
today. Look at that.
Some nice Welsh honey.
Fantastic.
And some of my ketchup that I made.
And I've seen this a lot. I'm looking forward to tasting that.
So as I mentioned, I brought some Brad's Atomics over because I'm hoping Malcolm will like them. And you said they were a bit smaller when you did, didn't you?
Brad's Atomic and they were probably only an inch long. So
yeah, so
they're amazing.
Hopefully that you'll enjoy them anyway.
Fantastic.
And yeah, and some walking onions, Egyptian walking onions. So have you grown them before?
No, I haven't.
So yeah, so they're
fantastic.
And these are sweet. They're more of a pepper than a chili. These are the Aji mango.
Lovely.
So have a go with those as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Ah, brilliant. Thank you very much.
So I think I'll just show you around Malcolm's plot. So if you're not already a subscriber of Malcolm's, then I'm sure you will be after this video.
Apples, pears, runner beans.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, I'll show you around the plot. So my plot's enormous. It's too big is the reality, and I've been thinking about what I do to get a bit of it so it's more maintenance efficient, hence the paths. But this was somebody else's plot and it stood, well, not worked for so many years. It was blowing seed over onto my plot, and in the end I decided that I'd dig it up but put membrane over it so that I didn't have to maintain it. And it's worked pretty well. That membrane now is a good 1.5 to 2 years old. So yeah, it's majorly a fruit garden, but fairly low maintenance. So I suppose the jewel in the crown is my pear tree, which I didn't actually plant myself. I took it over when I took over that plot. But this year, there's just so many pears on there, and it's fantastic. And previously, I had a year last year without a single pear, and this year it's come back with a vengeance, so good times. So this is probably the lowest maintenance part of my plot, which makes it really enjoyable. And I built all these raised beds on this slope, and to be honest, it's the most fun to work with because you can get down and weed it so simply, grow different varieties of crops in each of the beds, and that works really well for me. And lots of people ask me about these hoops, so I'm going to say it now, Danny, so that you don't get asked the same question I get asked nearly every video, which is that it was a coil of mild steel about 60 meters, and I chopped it up and made these hoops out of it because I couldn't buy them, and they've worked out really well. So I net everything, not because of really any other reason than there's a massive population of cats in this area, and if I don't, these will get used as litter trays. So I got a polytunnel which I use outside of the winter season. For the winter I just use it for storing things, and yeah, works really well. So this square is probably the oldest part of my plot. I sort of had that part of the plot and then took over this one and then that bit, and then I went up there and took over a little bit up there as well, and it's a big plot, as I said before, but this is very productive. The whole garden is no dig, because I tend to find that that gives great replenishment to the vegetables year on year. And what I've learned using no dig is that I can grow the same crop in the same space year after year without any detriment to the yield of the vegetable. And I guess the beans are a good testament to that. They've been in there now consecutively 3 or 4 years, and you wouldn't know it. So this is the infamous squash bed, or pumpkin and squash bed, and well, people are saying that it's going to be a tough year for pumpkins, and I thought it was going to be as well. But actually, if you come and have a look in here, it's surprising. So we've got one there, one there, one in there. Everywhere you look, there's another 5 in there. So I don't know what I'm doing, but it seems to grow pumpkins up here okay. So there's definitely going to be more pumpkins than the Kingswell household can manage this year. Mrs. K will be delighted. So this part of my plot is fairly high maintenance because I've got a lot of grass to cut, but in it is basically a few trees. We've got some josterberry bushes over the back, and we've got a lot of black currants in here. And then right over the far side is where I've got a few hens. So I guess it's a difficult space, not least because of this massive tree, which means that it tends to be quite shaded. And well, it's a good place to have all those things that you don't want on the rest of your plot, but that's a bit of a luxury really for all the space.
So we're just going to pop over now. We've done what we need to do today. Mrs. K's baked for me, so we're going to go and enjoy a nice cup of tea now and some cake hopefully. So let's get back to my plot after this. So we're back at the plot and it's a new day. I went over, obviously you've just seen that I went over Malcolm's yesterday, dropped off a pile of bark. I'm sure he will benefit from that, put it on his path. I have come over today because I desperately need to rip out everything in the greenhouse that I don't need in there. I've noticed there's an aubergine in there as well though, you know, or an eggplant if you're on the other side. But yeah, this thing's now starting to turn over and go yellow, and yeah, it's that time of year now, isn't it, that everything's going this colour. And I've noticed things are starting to creep over me now, and I think like I've noticed like the bindweed sneaking in, and I've noticed it just needs a good tidy, and that's the thing. And it can happen like that, you know, you'll have a few days off and you'll come over and think, where did all this come from? So I'm going to go through now, assess everything that I need to do, pick more runner beans, and yeah, just get all those jobs and put it back on track for autumn. Right, let's get it done. So I've also brought over my Caraflex F1 cabbages and some Calabrese, and they desperately need to go in now. I put the kales in, the purple sprouted broccoli. It's all that time, you know, I don't want to leave it too late, and I need to clear some beds now, put all this in ready for some winter and some spring harvests. Right, that's another thing on the list to do today. It definitely needs to be done. You keep saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it. They need to be put in now. Definitely. Now I've decided I'm not going to pick any more of the runner beans. I think everything on here now I will let, you know, bulk up, and I'll keep the seeds for next year. I think I've had my fair share of them now, and I'll leave them to just you know, mature into the fact that I can use the beans next year. So that's my plan with these now. And I'll probably have 1 or 2 more crops off the top plot part of the runner beans, and then I'll leave the same then so I can save some seeds for next year. Do you know what? I think today is the day that I'm going to take this piece off of corn and hopefully it'll be ready. So who knows, I've never grown corn to this, so we shall see. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? How do you put corn? Okay, so we're here now. So let's peel it off, and hopefully, so these have all died back now. That's normally a telltale sign that you've got good corn. Let's have a look. It's like opening a Christmas present, isn't it? You know, a plot present. Will it be a success or will it be half? It's looking good so far. So it's got some blue in it, but not as much as I thought it would. So maybe that's a cross-pollination, but yeah, I'm happy with that. I don't think that's a bad piece of corn. Now, it could have been cross-pollinated last year because these were saved seeds that I gave to someone, so yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Do you know what? I'm bloody well happy with that. You know, that's a decent, it's long and slim, but yeah, I'm happy with that. That's another success. So, you know, I've never been able to do it before, so to me, just the fact that I know I can do it now, yeah, I'm happy. So I'm finally stripping off all the foliage in the greenhouse now. There's not going to be a leaf left on there, just the fruit, and then they can focus on ripening now because we're getting closer now to having colder nights. And yeah, you know, don't focus now on fruiting flowers and things like that because, you know, we haven't got much time left now. So it's all about, you know, ripening everything now. So it's all on the floor now, and yeah, I'm pulling it out slowly. So hopefully by the end of this I'll be finished. Hopefully today I'll be done. Finally, all the tomato foliage has been taken out. There's a bit of mess in here, but God, look at it now. All the foliage has been taken off, and all the tomatoes now can focus on just ripening. You're never going to get any more on flowers now, so it's better if these, and they've got some beauties, and you do get some casualties as well, but it's just the way it is when you strip back everything. And look what I've noticed down here while pruning. We've got one that actually grew, so I'm happy. And look what else I've found in here. A little caterpillar, little rascal. Pop him outside. Whoa, he's a wriggler. The most frustrating part about the Roma is that when I pull back most of the foliage, all these Roma tomatoes here yet, they haven't given me that many this year so far, but I'm hoping that these ones will ripen now. And also the same here with the tie-dye. There's quite a few. They seem to come later on in the season, but there is quite a few. I am soaking, my hands are green. You know what it's like when you start pruning that greenhouse, it goes from like 20 degrees to 35 straight away, and you're like, pfft. So I think I'm going to head home now, having a shower, and I've done the jobs I want to do. I still haven't planted those brassicas that I promised I was going to do today, but they can be left for tomorrow. So it's all done, and I'm so pleased that the whole greenhouse now is completely bare. It looks weird that it's some, you know, there's not much in there, but the next job is, once the tomatoes ripen, is to pull out all the plants, and then maybe I'll put some things in there to overwinter. Who knows? Right, so I'm going to head home now. So take care, guys, and I shall see you all again soon.